At the start of every new anime season, there's always those couple of shows that are super hyped and everybody's going to be talking about. But before watching any of those, my girlfriend and I always like to watch a couple of shows that seem like absolute trash, just to, adjust our palates a little, make the good shows seem a little bit better. Kind of like banging your head against the wall because it'll feel good when you stop. Now, when we're talking shitty seasonal anime, we all know that the undisputed king in this field is whatever random isekai can find with a stupid ass title.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
So let's rewind back to summer 2022. A new season's just started and the fresh-faced optimism is setting in as we get ready to watch some stuff we've heard is going to be awesome, like Yofukashi no Uta. But before we can get into any of the good stuff, what's this Uncle from Another World show? That's a pretty stupid title, and it's not even just a shitty translation because Isekai Oji-san sounds just as goddamn stupid. Hell yeah, let's give this show a try. So the show starts and like 10 seconds in, the MC is crossing the road about to be hit by a truck, and we're just laughing about how these isekai aren't even trying anymore. But what our tiny seinen fan brains failed to realize is that we had fallen right into their trap, and it was all simply a ruse to subvert our expectations. MC safely made it across the street and went to speak with his uncle that had just woken up from a 17-year coma. Then the uncle starts speaking and we're like, wait a minute, who's this voice actor? Is that motherfucking Dio? So yeah, from that moment we were basically hooked. To give a brief synopsis, Isekai Oji-san is an anime about a guy that 17 years ago was hit by a truck and ended up in a coma. During that time, he was transported to a fantasy world doing all the basic isekai stuff you'd expect. Then at the start of the story, he wakes up from the coma and is transported to the mythical world of modern-day Tokyo. At first, our protagonist from earlier thinks his uncle has brain damage or something, but it turns out that all of the magic that the uncle learned still applies in the real world. The plot of the show is then pretty split up between the uncle adapting to modern life in Japan and showing flashbacks of his time in the isekai world. But the important thing to note here is that this show is a parody. This isn't an anime about a good-looking, overpowered MC that beat the great evil and ends up with a harem of elf girls. This anime is about a socially awkward dude that didn't understand that the elf girl abusing him was actually a tsundere, and he thought she just hated him and didn't understand why she kept following him around. Then he gets back to the real world and he starts going ultra weird and doing crazy shit like starting a YouTube channel. Regardless, my point is that this show was pretty good. I've never really been a fan of isekai, and it was fun to see an anime that takes the piss out of a genre that I never really cared for. I know there's been other isekai parodies, but I haven't actually watched them, so their opinion is irrelevant. So you're probably wondering why I titled the video Isekai Oji-san Deserves Better. Well, it has nothing to do with the quality of the show. I was keeping up with this show weekly, and then I was expecting episode 8 to drop, and what's this? Some sick fuck forgot to upload it to my totally legal streaming site. Alright, then a few days pass and it still hasn't come out, so I decided to do some high-level research, and it turns out the animation company all got COVID or something, so the second half of the season was delayed. While I was a little pissed off about this, there's nothing you can do about it. Shit happens sometimes, so I just have to wait until later to finish the show. Fast forward to autumn 2022. There's some good shows airing this season, and what's this? Isekai Oji-san is going to start up again? Hell yeah, let's get it. At this point, my GF had already given up on the show, partly because of the 3-month break, and partly because she's always had a bit of an issue with awkward cringe humour.
But I was raised in the cringe, molded by it. I didn't read Berserk until I was already a man.
And I was ready to finish the show. So I watched the next few episodes and, it was still pretty good. Then when the final episode was meant to come out, what's this? Some sick fuck forgot to upload it to my totally legal streaming site, again. Yeah, it turns out they all got COVID again and the last episode was delayed. This brings us to now. Final episode still hasn't been released and I haven't been able to find any information about when it might come out. Well, this was obviously just a series of unfortunate events and not some deliberate ploy to ruin the show. You can't help but feel that Isekai Oji-san was majorly screwed over by this fractured release schedule and caused a lot of people to stop watching the show. Unlike JoJo Part 6, this wasn't some major IP that people wouldn't be able to avoid. Like fuck, I still would have watched Stone Ocean even if they were releasing 5-minute segments once a month. But Isekai Oji-san doesn't have that same luxury. This is a good show, buried under a pile of production problems that has probably caused a lot of people to either drop the show, or just keep it on their currently watching list indefinitely and say, yeah, I'll finish it one day. Regardless, Isekai Oji-san deserved better, and I truly think it would have been received more positively if it wasn't so screwed over by its release schedule. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more weep shit.